Good evening.
Yes.
It's beautiful evening, a bit chilly, but
Yes.
it isn't snowing.
At least not here.
Got that right. My name is Odie Hawkins. As you know, I've been reading, those who've been following this know that I've been reading from a book that I wrote way back in 1972, which has been reissued about 3 times, and it's called Ghetto Sketches 2021.
Yes.
And I should like to mention that the cover art was done by my friend Tony Gleason.
Mm-hmm.
The back blurb was generously offered to me by Professor Justin Gifford, University of Nevada. And the 2 people you see there are none other than Odie and Zola, Salena-Hawkins.
Yes.
Side by side,
Uh-huh.
with the little white caps on.
Yes, and I did some of the research on it. That's it. All right.
Okay. To bring us a little bit up to date, the Ghetto Sketches is roughly the recounting of some events that occurred on a real street that has been fictionalized. And on this street, like in almost any other street, but in this case, since it's a ghetto street in Chicago, I'm using a street called Washburn Avenue on the near west side where I was born. I'm going up one side of the street and down the other side and looking in on the lives of the people who live on the street. I'm using the present day sense, but this was written some time ago, and I'd like for the listeners or the people paying attention to this to let them know that some of the circumstances might seem somewhat superficial or maybe a little bit out of date because it was originally written in 1972. Published in 1972. Originally, I started making notes for this in 1962.
Okay.
So it took 10 years for it to come to being.
But, you know, people like old school and,
Well,
you know,
come to this school. This is about as old as you can get.
There you go.
Really nice to have a really nice cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how do you like my cup?
I like your Capoeira cup.
It was purchased for me by none other than my wife, Zola Salena-Hawkins.
Yes, indeed.
Who got tired of seeing me drink whatever I was drinking out of an old chipped broken cup. So she got me a new cup.
Yes.
Now then, since we've disclosed all our family secrets, I guess I'll get into the reading.
Yes, that would be good.
It's Saturday, and I'll just begin with what happens on Saturday in a particular apartment with 2 particular people. From an apartment building down the street, a couple of partygoers weave unsteadily down the stairs to the streets. The hostess leans out of her second-floor window, echoes of Roberta, Aretha, Mother Popcorn, and BB floating out over her shoulder. You better hold his hand, Lucille, else he might stumble out there and get hit by one of them cars. These are friends who've had a party, and they're coming from the party, and of course they're not feeling as sober as they felt when they went in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes to show you what a couple of beers will do.
Mm.
Lucille Smith, her arm firmly hooked into the crook of her husband's arm, looks up with a giddy, amused expression. Don't you worry about a thing, child. My old man can take care of him and me. Been doing it for years, ain't that right, baby? Fergus Smith nods his head agreeably. Lucille, you gonna make it to church tomorrow? Lord willing, and I wake up in time. Stop by before y'all go and holler at me. There are little poetic transition points in this novel, and this is one of them. And if the Sunday services have not dealt with it all, or haven't had time yet, if a soulful problem remains, one that goes beyond the recognized boundaries remains aloof from the sweet songs and glib prayers to Jesus to Christ, or dries up in a stifled puddle on the cracked sidewalks, then there's someone else, something else that can be brought to bear. Dark powders, ground up roots, scented herbs, and flickering candles that burn 7 days, blessed by holy mouths filled with sacred green snuff, can be sought out. The powders, roots, herbs, and candles can be found in dark spaces that leak ancient rites filled with African blood. Small, cramped huts, stacked in piles, one on top of the other. Huts that are made of stone and steel now, but still carry a dark message sent from ancestors whose bones have found in the New World old bodies in which to live. A timid staccato tapping on the back door of apartment 307. Miss Rabbit, glasses down on her nose tip, half dozing, half reading her Bible, looks up apprehensively at the sound of the tapping. Miss Rabbit edges toward the door on tiptoe, every muscle in her squat frame tense. "Who is it?" she asked in a cautious voice. "It's me, Miss Rabbit. Me, Lena Daniels." These are neighbors, they all know each other. Miss Rabbit cocks her head, straining to determine if the voice of the person is who it says it is. "Who that you say?" "Me, Miss Rabbit, me, Lena Daniels." Miss Rabbit opens the door quickly and shoos Lena inside. "Honey, what are you doing, traipsing around in the middle of the night? Don't you know Hanks is loose out there? To say nothing of them dope fiends and whatnot." Lena stands in front of the door, her arms crossed under her ample bosom, looking around nervously. "You're right, Miss Rabbit. But I just had to see, I just had to." Miss Rabbit, one eyebrow raised perceptibly, motions toward her worn sofa. "Well, come over here and sit down. Sure must be important for you to be running around in the alley this time of night. What's wrong? One of the children sick?" Lena squirms around restlessly on the sofa, coming to rest on the edge. "Oh, no, they're all right. It just..." Miss Rabbit reaches over to pat her hand reassuringly. "All right now, honey, just calm down and tell Miss Rabbit what the problem is." Lena turns her head away from Miss Rabbit's gaze, stares at a worn-down broom standing in a far corner. "Well, I don't rightfully know how to come out and tell you." Miss Rabbit pulls a pack of cigarettes from her aching pocket, lights up, and waits and waits. "Well, you see, Miss Rabbit," Lena finally continues, it's like this. You know, me and Jim, you know, me and Jim been married going on 9 years. I remember when y'all first came up here. You remember that? We just got married and decided to move from Biloxi because Jim thought, yeah, I remember all that. Go ahead about the other thing. Lena's eyes circle the room and drop down to her hands tightly folded in her lap. "Oh, well, what I was going to say was, we ain't never really had too many problems, me and Jim. I mean, it's been kind of hard at times, like when Jim lost his job, but, well, here lately, he just started staying out late, gambling, his money off, and I don't know what all. Whenever I ask him about what he's doing, he won't say nothing. Either that or he wants to fight me." Miss Rabbit looks into Lena's face with a faint smile tugging at her mouth. "You think you got another woman out there, is that it, honey?" Mm-hmm. Lena nods sadly and looks back over into the corner, tears clouding her eyes. I was just thinking, maybe you could help me, Miss Rabbit. We got 5 kids, and I really love Jim, Miss Rabbit, I really do. Miss Rabbit stares compassionately at Lena for a full minute, blowing smoke rings. And then she suddenly waddles away into the other room, returns minutes later with a small brown paper bag. Now you listen to me closely, Lena Mae. Do everything just like I say, and you won't have no more words with Jim, leastways not this year's anyway. Jim at home now? No. He slept a while this afternoon after he chased Chayo and them away from our back. I heard all that commotion, but I didn't want to get my head blown off by an accident. Well, after he chased them away, he slept for a bit and got up around about 6:30, and I ain't seen or heard from him since then. Well, here's what you do. When you get the first chance, first thing you got to do is put 2 pinches of this in his coffee. First chance you get. Lena reaches hesitantly for the little brown bag, a group of tension lines wrinkling her forehead. What is it, Miss Rabbit? Stop asking foolish questions, gal. You want Jim to stop fooling around in the street, don't you? Lena dabs at a would-be tear in the corner of her eye and answers in a small voice. All right then. After you done put 2 pinches of this powder in his coffee, or in his food you want, don't do nothing else for 1 whole day. And then, Lena Mae, you listen to me? Yes, I'm listening. I'm just scared. If Jim found out about this, he'd beat me to death. Honey, Jim ain't no different from the rest of them. If you do just like I say do, you'll have him strolling around behind you in his eyebrows by the end of the week. Now just listen. The day you done put the 2 pinches on him, don't use more than 2 pinches because it's mighty powerful. In exactly 1 day, he gonna come home from work feeling kind of bad, might have a bad headache, and his stomach might be hurting him a little bit. Lena dabs a bit hard at the recurring tears in the corner of her eyes. Miss Rabbit, Jim don't never have no headaches or stomach ache. He ain't never been sick in all the time we've been married. Miss Rabbit makes an impatient gesture of despair with her hands, mouth, and eyebrows. Lena Daniels, I swear for God. I'm telling you, if you make it hard for me, I'm going to put you out of here and you'll lose that worthless bastard you married to. Lena Daniels cringes at the sound of the word describing her husband, but answered hurriedly, I'm sorry, Miss Rabbit, I'm sorry. It's just that I've been so nervous and upset lately. Miss Rabbit strokes her on her arm soothingly. I know you have, honey. Now then, when he comes home feeling bad, he'll most likely want to lay down. Now then, whilst he's laying down sleeping, trying to get rid of his headache, take these 3 bones and toss them under the bed and sprinkle 3 more pinches of this powder lightly around the bed. Just like that, mind you. If you sprinkle too much in one place, it's apt to make him go blind as his left eye for 2 days. Lena Daniels squeezes the little brown bag firmly in her fist. I sure want to thank you, Miss Rabbit. I'll give you a little something at the end of the week. Jim messed up his check 2 weeks ago, and we've been kind of hard. Not only that, Suki boy stuck a nail in his foot, and we had to. Miss Rabbit subdues, brushes away the rest of the explanation with a brisk waving of her hands. Go on, girl, go on. Get out here and do what I told you to do. Bring me one of them peach cobblers you make so good after you done brought your man back to his senses. Thanks for heat, Miss Rabbit. I'm going to do just exactly what you said for me to do. You better. Else you ain't going to have nobody to help you with them young mothers. Now go on, kid. Lena opens the back door and stands there for a moment looking down at the dark alley in front of her and then turns back shyly to Miss Rabbit. Night, Miss Rabbit. Night, Lena. You be careful now. Lena starts slowly down the steps, a firm line to her chin. I will. Let you, Miss Rabbit. Everything gonna be all right. Miss Rabbit closes the back door, settles the latch and burglar chains back into place and walks slowly back over to her sofa. Her worn house slippers making a soft clap slop sound as she goes. She picks up a Bible from the sofa, looks at it for a moment as though searching for something, and then gracefully kneels on one knee and then the other. Dear God, I pray to you tonight. I pray to you for Lena Daniels. A blonde, blue-eyed, long-haired picture of Jesus Christ, a cross glowing on his chest, stares benevolently over Miss Rabbit's head as she prays. And that's where I'm going to lead it. We'll continue with chapter 11 soon. Well, there's nothing else I could possibly do other than stop reading right now because there's so much to go through here. And I don't want to do it all in one reading because otherwise I'll just be staggering around.
I know. I do enjoy Miss Rabbit. It's interesting.
But we might be able to get back at this before next Monday.
Okay.
I would like to continue it this coming Friday.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh.
Why, thank you, Odie Hawkins. Definitely appreciate it.
It's you know, I've been talking to people recently about dialects and the use of dialect and so forth and so on. And it's very interesting because a lot of people who feel perfectly comfortable hearing, I don't know, somebody talk in a Western accent or talk with a Western twang, or even some character in a movie or on a television show talk with a heavy New York, you know, twist to his voice. Seem for some reason to be a little bit distressed or disturbed when they hear people coming from a black Southern tradition talk the way people down there talk. And it's interesting because I once had a seminar, with a linguistic seminar concerning the use of, we don't want to call it dialect, let's call it accent. And I think maybe I proved the point because people, black and white, can come from the same region, maybe even the same town, and the white man will say, white folks. The black man says white. The white man might say, depending on his level of racism, might say Negroes. The black man says Negroes. And you could go on and on and on. And it has to do, I think, with the fact that English is a learned language for our ancestors, for the people who first started speaking English in the English-speaking slave-holding places, and they put their own accents on things. So I mean, you can hear it most of all in the singing, where you might find a white church audience congregation singing that favorite song they love, Amazing Grace. And to me, it just simply sounds like, I believe you use the term, it sounds like they're reading a script. Whereas the black audience is, I mean, the black congregation is singing something that comes from another place altogether. I mean, I can hear the slave boat, the creaking and rocking.
They identify more with the song.
That's the point. That's the point. So that when you get to the point of talking about people who are from down south, we used to call it in Chicago, coming up south, The only thing they did was change location, but the sense, the linguistic thing remained. I think about my whole family on both sides, who spoke almost sometimes something that sounded like a patois to me.
Yes.
You know, where you brought that from? You know, where you at? Not where is he at? Where's it? Somebody says something about at, and at became the destination of the whole sentence. Where that be at?
Well, you know, you say aunt, and I say aunt.
Well, that has something to do with home training and class and cast. Yeah, I mean, I think there's room for all of us. I mean, I've been in rooms where if you turn your back on the black people speaking, you might think you had some white people speaking.
Most definitely.
You know, they were all black people, but they were very educated. Like our friend in the writing class who came from Alabama.
Oh yes, very.
And had been just simply had the black Alabama practically ironed out of him by people telling him if you want to be a radio broadcaster, you can't.
Well, actor in today's world.
Okay, yeah.
Right. In Hollywood.
Okay, maybe many people in our United States want to have some kind of broad national accent that doesn't reveal any kind of regionalism at all, but that's impossible because we come up under people who speak a certain way, and they infect you.
Well, you know, what is it? You were telling me how, I was talking about how English, everybody wanted everybody to speak English, but then there's another language that they tried to make.
Oh, Esperanto?
Yes.
Okay, so far as I know, Esperanto didn't have accents. I can't right now think of the details of it, but it was an attempt, it's still an attempt, as I understand it, for linguists to try to create a world language so that, you know, you go anywhere and speak Esperanto and somebody would be able to talk with you and so forth. Somehow it never seemed to catch on because so many of us become attached to some kind of values in the language we learn as babies, or the mother tongue, as they say.
Right, right.
And we want to speak the way our mother spoke. You know, in the novel that I'm writing, a woman named Womaine, who has all of the advantages that anybody could have, that money could give her, and yet she talks like an Alabama sharecropper. And it has to do with the fact that her parents had enough money. You know, the old man said, hey, well, I got enough money in the mattress to take us over for the next 10 years, and we got some more money in the bank to take us in the next 20 years, so you can drop on if you want to. You ain't gonna miss nothing. You count good. You know what makes people do the kind of stuff they do. You can do me more good by staying out of that school, you know.
Right.
Since you're so fine, they ain't doing nothing but hitting on you and making you feel like you're a piece of meat or something.
Right.
So then later she learns, because we've been taught in this place that proper English is the money language. You know, I mean, you can be slick as you want to be, but all the average detective has to do is talk to you a little bit, and he can tell you, he can tell that you don't know what you pretend to know.
Yes.
You know, it's really easy. Like my friend, the thug used to say, well, one of the thugs, you know, don't give your game away. You know, don't give your game away by looking like a thug. Oh, okay. If you then don't talk like a thug. You know, some of the people that I met while working as a writing instructor in jail never had a chance because they never really learned how to speak standard English. So they start talking to the police and get all tangled up, and you know, what I meant was, and this is, it'd be a thing, like, you know,
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
like,
yes.
well, you know,
And
I done it, but
and
I didn't do it.
Right.
Is what you mean? Did I done it? No, I didn't. I
Done
did that other thing. I know you trying to think of. I done did it. I done did it. I didn't do that. I done that other thing.
And then your favorite, and like.
And like, oh my God! If I could take a hammer and a chisel
and get rid of the like.
and get rid of like, and it has.
As a transitional phrase.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been talking with some educated people I know who live in Santa Monica, and some uneducated people I know who live in Watts, and they got that so bad, you know, be like, and Watts is be like, it'd be a thing, like, you know, I mean, you know, like, I mean, like, you know, like what? And then you got the guy in Santa Monica who just runs out, well, you know, the archaeological picture shows us, I mean, you know, like in, and then there was this kind of a thing, like, I mean, you know, like, I mean, well, like what?
Yes.
And I'm going to stop right there before I get all incensed and,
yes, indeed.
and upset and aggravated. Like,
I like the way that Miss Rabbit talks.
I like so, you know what? Some of that language is so sweet. You know, you ask yourself, how could people who've gone through what we've gone through here come up with the sweetest language in the world? I remember going to a little restaurant I used to go into in Augusta, Georgia, when I was in the United States Army.
And what about it?
And the waitress used to, they had about 6 women, black women, who always hummed. The place sounded like a church. The cook
That's
was
always good, yes.
Yeah, the cook was back.
Good atmosphere.
The waitress comes up to the table. And it would take me about 10 minutes to order because, see, now what you want this afternoon, honey? Well, no, come on, baby, don't rush yourself. I know. Let me go over here and take care of this person here. Now you just look at that menu and order. We got oxtail soup. She comes back over. What is it, baby? What you want? You know, say it again. What you want, honey? We got it all right here. Okay, well,
hospitable people.
More than hospitality. This is an enclosure of I want to say collective racial warmth.
Extended,
you know, we can tell you ain't never ate nothing.
Extended family.
Extended family. This is either my aunt, because that's what they were. They were aunties, or as we say, ain't. And they wanted to make sure that you felt welcome. We ain't seen you up in here since last week. Has you eaten since then?
You're looking poorly. You must not be
Look
eating.
at you, your pants all sliding down there.
Yeah, you must not be eating.
And we got peach cobbler.
Oh, Lord. with the sugar stack like
with them sugar stalactite sugar drops bleeding over the side. But you know what to soften that up? You know what to soften that up?
What's soften?
This homemade vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we got some vanilla ice cream. Look, I'll be right back. What you want? Now you think about what you want and you just make up your mind. I'll be right back.
I hope folks in 2022 will think about what they want.
I do too.
Pursue it.
I do too.
All right.
Okay.
Itness.